All right, the Super Eagles flying high over the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. And there was a picture I saw, maybe I should have added it to the production, of a logo of the Cameroonian indomitable lion crying. Oh goodness, whoever crafted that was so mean, seeing the Cameroonian lion cry. But Edwin, just a few seconds, did you expect Nigeria to win this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I see.
Nigeria have not been convincing throughout this tournament, but they've shown that even though they are not scoring the goals we expect of them, defensively they've been very solid.
Okay.
It's the other way for Cameroon. I felt that defensively they've been all over the place. Offensively, they've not been at their best. Even their midfield has not been its strongest. So if you looked at that on paper, Nigeria went in with the advantage. And if you take a look at each of the players, player by player, Nigeria have the better squad. And they have the better pedigree. And they play the better football. So I went into this game expecting Nigeria to win, perhaps more comfortably than they eventually did. But Cameroon didn't offer too much to suggest, even during the game, that they were going to cause Nigeria any significant problems.
For Cameroon, just to state my point, I thought of them a bit more on an emotive level. I thought that, if you've been given this chance to make the round of 16, you start from zero, you give it everything. But you're right, they seem second best to Nigeria in large chunks of the game. And I think Nigeria were deserved winners. Yeah,
they did seem second best. And emotions can work either way. Either they push you, motivate you to get that victory, or they affect you so much that you don't give off your best. You try too hard and you end up making a few errors. And we saw a number of errors that Cameroon made in the game that obviously cost them. Okay, let's have a look at some of the errors you were talking about. Okay, so one significant error, and this is from the goalkeeper Ondoa, who obviously came in for Onana and has been...
And he's Onana's cousin.
He's Onana's cousin, so they share some similarities in that sense. One thing they do share in goalkeeping is their lack of control when it comes to set pieces. It's one criticism I've had of Onana in his Man United career, even sometimes for Cameroon as well. And we see it with Ondoa as well. In such a situation, your goalkeeper has such a huge run out. He's supposed to get a good punch on the ball. Ondoa does not. This is an awful punch. He is not under significant pressure. He's supposed to get a better punch in this.
But did he have to come out all the way to get it?
No, as a goalkeeper, you make a decision. If you come out, you get a significant punch on the ball. If you don't, then you know that your defenders are the ones handling it. It gets him out of his goal line and puts him in the middle of nowhere, while Nigeria keep the ball in a dangerous position. So, as you can see here, the shot comes in. Ondoa is still struggling to get off his line. He makes a decent enough save, but the rebound gets to... I believe it's Calvin Bassey, I'm not too sure. And then he finds the back of the net with a good shot. We'll get a better angle. I saw a few complaints online from Nigerians saying, why was this goal disallowed? It seemed like a perfect goal. So why did the referee disallow it? I think in this Ajavi, obviously. In the subsequent angle, we'll get a better look on why the referee and the linesman and VAR decided to disallow the goal. So, as we are heading out, the corner is put into the box. A terrible punch there from Ondoa. A cross is put back into the box, and he makes yet another terrible punch. So these are two punches which were really bad from Ondoa. Puts his team at a disadvantage immediately. The shot comes in from the edge of the box, and I'd like to point it right here. The offside rule says that the line is drawn from the last defender besides the goalkeeper. The last defender of the defending team besides the goalkeeper.
So which means that you don't count the goalkeeper.
You don't count the goalkeeper. So once the goalkeeper is off his line outside the 6-yard box, this Cameroonian defender effectively becomes the goalkeeper. So this player becomes the last man here the last defender for Cameroon.
I see.
which means these two Nigerian players are technically offside.
So which means that, like you say, the line is drawn.
The line
from
is
that
drawn
point.
from this point. Sorry, my line is all over the place, but
yes, I think we
if I had straighter hands, the line would be drawn this way from this point.
Okay, I think that's fair.
That's fair.
We'll
I think we can understand it. And once the shot is played, these two players, Osimhen and Ajavi, are offside. So when the shot is played and Ondoa saves, Ajavi moves into action. So he becomes a part of play, which means the offside applies and he's definitely offside.
I mean, well, it looks a little complicated, but not the most complicated. Now, to our viewers, if you have seen such a scenario before, let me take your mind back to that UEFA Champions League final in Paris between Liverpool and Real Madrid. Remember, Karim Benzema scored a goal and it was ruled out. So this rule applies. It applies in, so that's two different scenarios, the same rule. So just to give you a better idea of context as to how this rule works, and if you've seen it before, yes, you have seen it before. Real Madrid won that game eventually, but that first goal was ruled out because of such a rule. So Cameroon breathed, at least temporarily.
Temporarily.
And then they finally concede.
Yes, because of another error from one of their defenders. We don't get that start here, but the ball is played into this defender right here. And I think he underestimates Osimhen's speed or his ability to reach the ball, because he delays on the ball. Immediately, you would have expected him to play a one-touch pass to his teammate right here. It gets him out of danger. No danger from Osimhen at all. He holds on to the ball, allows the Nigerian striker to take the ball. And in that position, what Lookman does here is fantastic. He offers Osimhen an option, knowing that Osimhen has two players who are drawn to him. The goalkeeper right here, there's no chance of him taking a shot. Lookman offers him an option, and as we can see here, he even points, says he wants the ball in this area, in this area right here. Gives him a good chance of scoring.
I see a second Cameroonian defender in the mix, and he is running towards the ball.
He's running towards the ball.
So which means that his choice was wrong. What should he have done? Stayed with Lookman?
Look, in such a situation, high-pressure situation, you see your teammate make an error. You are immediately trying to correct that error. So you move towards the ball. So even though it was a mistake not to be aware of Ademola Lookman's presence, I think it's understandable that he would want to go and block off any options for Victor
let's run the
Osimhen.
sequence on. I just want to establish if, for example, Osimhen was in a dangerous position that he could cause a problem. Assuming, let's say, he decides not to pass the ball to Lookman, what can he do? And I'm asking, because I keep thinking about that Cameroonian defender, and I'm wondering if maybe staying with Lookman would have been a far better
option.
Of course, hindsight is 2020.
So we run the play for a bit. In this situation, Osimhen can obviously take a shot, but as I said, low percentage shots. There's every chance of him missing this shot,
Yes.
every chance of it being blocked by either of these two defenders right here, every chance of it being saved. But once he makes the pass into Ademola Lookman, this becomes a high percentage chance for Nigeria. And you wouldn't expect Lookman to miss this opportunity, but he almost did. It was almost saved somehow by Ondoa. Some might say the goalkeeper really should have done better there, but when you are moving in one direction and the shot comes in the other direction, it's very difficult to save that shot.
Shot's almost directly beneath.
It was almost beneath him. So,
Yes.
and he was diving in one direction, which made it even more difficult for him to reach the ball. So I think luck was on Ademola Lookman's side and not on Ondoa's side for this goal.
All right. So at this point, Cameroon were down by 1-0. Then the pressure starts. There's pressure on them. They need to come back into the game. It's just before halftime. They have 45 more minutes to respond. Eventually, Edwin, we get to the second goal, the goal that kills the game off. And, run us through that.
Yeah, 89th minutes, Cameroon are trying to find the goal. The ball ends up on the left-hand side for Nigeria with Ademola Lookman. So let's highlight these three Nigerian players. It will be right here. There's Lookman, and then there's Calvin Bassey. Bassey had been playing as a left wing back throughout the game, with Ajavi on the left as the left back. No, sorry, Bassey had been playing as the left-sided centre back with Ajavi as
The left wing back.
So he was not putting in crosses throughout the game. When he decided to put in the cross, it was not quality enough. So once the change was made, which was a very good change, by the way, it allowed Bassey to get onto the side with Ademola Lookman. But the most impressive move of this goal was from Iwobi.
Okay, why so?
The easiest pass would have been to get the ball back into the space for Ademola Lookman. He didn't make that pass because he understood that there were so many defenders around the player. 1, 2, 3. It could have been a good pass, all right, but he had attracted so much attention that chances of him making anything of it were very low. So he found a better pass into Calvin Bassey, who was absolutely free because Lookman had drawn all the attention away. So once that pass was made to Bassey, all he had to do was put a good enough ball into the box. A good enough ball into the box. And he did. But this was also terrible defending from Cameroon.
Okay.
Because Castelletto here should have been a lot closer to Lookman, preventing him from getting such a good run in on the ball. So it left Lookman all alone. And those three defenders, including Anguissa, who should have been keeping an eye on Lookman, had now turned their attention over to Calvin Bassey, which obviously was not the right thing to do. And Lookman has to just divert the ball into the back of the net. Ondoa, maybe again, he should have done better. But it came at him too fast. The distance between the shot and the goalkeeper made it a little tricky. But you should trust your goalkeeper to save the ball in such a situation. He doesn't. Nigeria go 2-0 up and they are through.
Well, Cameroon paying the price for some very poor decisions on the pitch. We'll wait to see what the consequence will be for Rigobert Song. He's head coach of the team. Will he be kept? Will he be let go? Nobody knows. But Cameroon missing out on another opportunity to win an AFCON.